Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, beautiful humans, one and all, thank you so much for joining me once again here on the Keto Quarantine channel. As usual, I am your host and your best friend, Jon Jay, and today we're going to talk about 5 rules that I live by to maximize my success. Stick around to the end of this video because we're going to see how I did this week, and I'll give you a hint. It's not good. So the application of these rules may need to be adjusted. As usual, not only do I thank you for your time, but I thank you for your support. If you would like to support this channel, there are a few things you can do to help me out dramatically. Namely, like the video, hit subscribe with the bell, and please share. By doing these simple steps, you can help ensure that I am able to keep doing videos like these. And if I have been of any kind of value or help to you, or perhaps my stupidity has been a good distraction from
the year that shall not be named,
well then please do consider taking these simple steps to keep this going. One last reminder, if you would like to support the channel that won't cost you a dime, you can use the Amazon affiliate links down below. Click on one of those products. You don't have to buy the products that I put down there. You can buy any product you want as long as you click through with one of those links. It costs you nothing extra, and instead of Amazon keeping the commissions for themselves, I get a tiny little fraction of what you buy on Amazon when you click on those links. Or don't. You can let Jeffy have all the monies. Do what you want. I'm not your dad. I think I've made 85 cents so far, so thank you. On with the show! There are obviously more than 5 things in the keto lifestyle that I pay attention to in order to find success, but I really want to simplify this and not make this video another 17-minute slog. By keeping this list to the top 5, I'm going to give you a good idea of how I comport myself throughout the process of trying to lose weight through the keto diet. So let's get started, as all lists should, at number 1, the 2/3 rule. Now, this has to do with something called BMR. No, not BMI. That chart is a joke and a conspiracy, Illuminati confirmed. BMR, this is basal metabolic rate. Basically, what you're going to do is click on the link down in the description below. When you get to that site, you're going to plug in your age, your weight, your height, all kinds of little details there, and you're going to calculate what your basal metabolic rate is. In short, BMR simply calculates the amount of calories your body burns just staying alive. If you were to stay in bed all day, this is how many calories your body burns, keeping you going. So with rule number 1, we take 2/3 of that caloric intake to keep us going, and we use that for our fuel throughout the day. If you're a big person and your BMR is 3,000 calories to just exist, well, set your limit of calories every day to 2,000. It's very simple in principle, but it does take some discipline and it does take some tracking. I recommend you watch our first video to get an idea of what to expect and how to set yourself up for success. Rule number 2, the 1 gallon minimum. An important fact of human biology is that we are made up mostly of water, and unless you've figured out a way to seal your skin, stop sweating, and stop peeing, you're losing it. Ergo, you must replace it. One of the most critical things of any diet that you can do, heck, one of the most critical things you can do for your health, period, is stay hydrated. I have put myself to the task of drinking at least 1 gallon a day. Rule number 3 will relate to rule number 2, but we'll get there. By drinking a gallon or more of water per day, I am not only keeping myself hydrated and keeping my organs lubricated and the system flushing as much as it can, I'm also physically filling my stomach when I'm hungry. No joke. When I feel hunger pangs, ice water does wonders. I haven't quite yet developed an ice water addiction as I have with food, but if I get there, I'll let you know. Rule number 3, 1 quart equals 1 can. Yeah, the monkey of Diet Mountain Dew is still firmly attached to my back, but a strategy I've developed to reduce my intake and eventually wean myself of it is to make sure that I have drank at least a quart of water before I allow myself to crack 1 can. Furthermore, I don't drink a second second can until I have drank a second quart of water. This keeps me hydrated, this keeps my system moving, and it gives me an incentive to drink the water that I want because I don't drink any other real caffeine throughout the day, and though Mountain Dew is full of all kinds of yucky, nasty stuff, poison, allegedly, studies have shown that the artificial sweeteners in diet sodas are really bad for people trying to lose weight. They inhibit fat loss. So I'm looking forward to getting this out of my system, and tying my ability to drink Diet Mountain Dew to my discipline in drinking water is a real surefire way of reducing the intake, thus reducing my dependence upon it. I found some good success with it, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel out there a ways. Oh God, it's a train. So if you are saddled with an unhealthy beverage, please don't tell me you're drinking soda that has sugar in it. But if you like diet sodas like I do, maybe this is a way that you can also reduce your intake and eventually kick that habit like I'm doing. Rule number 4, nothing before noon or after 8. This is also called intermittent fasting, and I won't get into all the cool, nerdy biology behind intermittent fasting, but suffice it to say, intermittent fasting kicks off some pretty amazing systems in your body. When you give your cellular system a break from processing all the energy you're taking in, it has time to repair DNA, it has time to replicate cells, it has time to repair damage, it has time to clean its systems out. And so I want to do a full video on intermittent fasting in the future, but for right now, just know that the rule that I am enjoying using, even though it takes some work, some discipline, and some self-denial, I don't want to do that. It's a really good thing for my system. It also slows the aging process, so look forward to that. By limiting my intake to afternoon and before 8 o'clock, I have a 16-hour fast. Now, intermittent fasting is most effective after 18 hours, so that window for me is going to shrink as I get more and more used to this. But if I can't eat calories except in 1/3 of the day, I'm naturally going to be taking in less calories. I'm not going to eat after I'm full, so by having about 2 meals and keeping my calories down, those two rules dovetail nicely together and support one another. Rule number 5. I call this the other 1/3 rule. Simply put, get off your butt. That's what I had to do. I've been walking, sometimes alone, sometimes with my family, but I've been walking more than I ever have. Now, for me, if you remember my previous video about goals, I was gonna try to get around the block once a day. Well, I can tell you I'm up to 3 times. Sometimes not every day, but at least every other day. On my little block, this equates to about 2/3 of a mile. And when you compare that to a sedentary lifestyle, I'm kicking butt. I'm doing really good. I'm going to the point of failure almost. At 3 laps around my block, at my size, at a pretty moderate pace, I round that bend on the 3rd time, my lower back is killing me. My legs are jelly, but it's okay. I'm getting stronger. I'm making progress. Now, I know I said 5 rules, but I'm gonna trick you and give you a bonus and say 6, but stick around until after bonus tip 6, and you'll see how badly I failed this week. Ooh, no. Bonus tip 6. Go big by going O.M.A.D. at least once a week. What is O.M.A.D? It is an acronym that stands for 1 meal a day. 1 meal a day! Yeah, you can make it. I can make it. We can do it. It's not the end of the world. If you live in Western society, you're eating enough. In fact, if you go back in human history and you look at what ancient man used to eat, you can see that our biology was designed to eat about 1 meal a day. Scarcity was a way of life back then, and we didn't know exactly when or if we were going to get our next meal. Our bodies are created to take in a big meal and then burn that while we look for the next. This is what O.M.A.D is replicating. This is kind of intermittent fasting on steroids, and it gets more extreme from here, but let's stick with O.M.A.D and not go nuts. All the benefits that we see from intermittent fasting are multiplied even more when you go O.M.A.D. 1 meal a day sounds like torture, and I'll be honest, it kind of is, but I can do this, so can you. And now we hit the point of the video where I share how this this last week went and how things are going to be changed in the coming week. Well, hopped on the scale this morning, didn't go so good. 0.0 pounds difference. Now, I know what you're thinking, but let's be honest, we all hit plateaus. I know I've been doing this right. I've been waiting for this to happen. I refuse to get discouraged. If you're discouraged, we have a video for that too. So in taking my own advice, what I'm gonna do is keep going. I am also going to change the variables. That's what I meant at the start of this video when I said some of these rules might have to be adapted to meet the challenges that this weigh-in has given me. So here are two things that I am gonna do for the next week, and next Wednesday I'll report in on how it went. Number one, I'm going O.M.A.D every single day. Yep, we talked about starting out with maybe once, maybe twice a week if you really want to get extreme to begin with. No, I've been doing this long enough, I can handle it. O.M.A.D every day. That's one meal a day. And I am not gonna eat myself until I'm stuffed. I'm gonna eat until I'm satisfied. So rule number one, remember it was the 2/3 rule? I'm probably gonna be closer to the 1/2 rule, but that's okay. We're gonna try it and we're gonna see what happens. Thing number two that I'm gonna change, I am committing to walking around the block 3 times every day. I'm not giving myself a break. Now, I need to be careful. I can't afford to hurt myself. My goal isn't to overdo it. My goal is to do it hard enough that my body is forced to change. You see, when you follow the ketogenic lifestyle, you may have great success for the first several weeks like I have, 20+ pounds, but you will. I guarantee you, you will hit a plateau. It'll feel like a brick wall. You cannot let that stop you. You know what? Our bodies are glorified science experiments. So what do you do in a scientific experiment and you haven't gotten the result you're looking for? Change the variables. That's all I'm doing. What is it going to do to my system to exercise considerably more and eat considerably less? Well, stay tuned next Wednesday to find out. Well, that's it for now. Thank you once again for joining me. If you'd like to support me, please check me out on KetoQuarantine.show. Otherwise, remember to click like, hit subscribe with the bell, share this video. Let's keep the message moving out there. Let's keep the advice flowing. And if you have questions, you can ask down below. You can hit me up on Twitter at Keto Quarantine, or we can start a discussion on the Facebook page for this channel. It's also at Keto Quarantine if you search that on Facebook. And until then, thanks for watching.